morning, dreamers. How are you today? I am so thankful for you being here at Grandma's table. Grab your coffee, a hot chocolate, whatever. If you're driving, that's okay too. Okay, so family, you are like family because you're here with us. But I have, uh, I call them my non-bine. They like to say that they're a combine, but a non-binary 23-year-old named James, and they um, they're in the middle of their growing up journey too, and they bring joy, they bring hugs, they bring strong opinions, they bring challenges, but they bring love and open arms and the most massive hugs, um, the cling to you hug. And then I also have Chantel, who comes with Aura, who's 2.5, and studying to become a nurse, and she brings joy as well, and she brings laughter, she brings sometimes giddiness, um, but a seriousness as well, and contemplative ability for the room to contemplate without getting overwhelmed with too many thoughts. Because I can bring too many thoughts, too deep thoughts, and she can keep things joyful and light, but also contemplative. And I have Hannah, who's 19, and she again brings joy, and she brings giggles. She brings a very quick wit. She brings sarcasm, um, and it comes out of nowhere. Like you can think she's ignoring the entire room, and she just whoom, whips in some comment, and the whole room kind of stops because her mind is very quick. Um, and she brings a comfort. Um, Again, all of them have warm hugs, but she brings that comfort with her wherever she lands, and she wants to absorb pain, and so, but in that she gives you comfort and hope. Um, and I have Jimmy, who's 17. Tell me your kid's in his last year of high school without telling me. There's university booklets on the coffee table. Um, but yeah, the joy that Jimmy brings is one of need. It sounds so weird compared to the others, but it's I'm not complete without you, Mom. And it gives you a purpose. Um, the other ones are so independent, and Jimmy is building an independence unlike I've ever seen in him. But his joy, I think it's they're older. They don't need Mom always around, right? And where when you're younger, you still get to play a few rounds, and so Jimmy lets me play a few rounds, and so he brings joy in that way, and it's a comfort knowing that ultimately that I'm needed, um, and wanted, and so it's really fun to play with them. And I say play as though we're in the toy box. No, but we play games. We play. Um, we with the other night they had a karaoke. It was so much fun. Just I was in the kitchen baking, and I ended up doing all the dishes and everything. Everything got done because I was having so much fun just listening to them enjoy themselves in the living room. And then there's Aura, 2.5, and she brings joy when she enters the room. And there's nothing like standing in the hall in the building, and she runs down the hall aimed at your knees like Mama G, Mama G. So that is my name for her as a grandchild, and it's basically Chantel's like it needed to have a G in it because of grand, um, and it just worked out that it was Mama G, and then Chantel shared that in her mind, um, there's mamas and then there's mamas from God, and so I'm Mama G because I'm the mama from God, and it was so touching, and so that's my name. Those are my mom, mama, mom, bruh, and Mama G. Um, Jimmy's growing out of the bruh, though. Today is Robert Louis Stevenson Day. Poet, author, just all around wonderful fella, Scottish, and he writes poetry that many people have taken and made them into children's poems and children's illustrated books. But one that I love the most, and God reaches me through scripture, through nature, through other Christians, through atheists. I have an atheist cousin who has just stood strong with me in the darkest times, never puts down my faith, never mocks it, just makes space for it, and I love it. And it's, we can have really serious conversations, and I can talk to him, and he respects my views. But those types of things are, maybe agnostic's a better word. Maybe. Anyway, whatever. But we do have these talks. But God ministers to me, my heart and my soul in the dark times through so many different methods, right? Obviously, when I dig deep into the Holy Scripture, and when I call my mom and I say, Mom, I need you to pray. I need you to help me get back to where I need to be. And her gentle prayer starts washing over me. Those are the most wholesome and healing. The hugs I mentioned, the joy that my kids bring, those things minister to me. But also, I am a poet by heart. If you can't tell, because of how emotive my approach to life is, and I don't apologize for it anymore. I used to, and there's still days, excuse me, hiccup. There are still days when I think about it. But a poem that has actually been ministering to me is called The Moon by Robert Louis Stevenson. The moon is a face like the clock in the hall. She shines on thieves on the garden wall, on streets and fields and harbor quays, and birdies asleep in forks of the trees. The squalling cat and the squeaking mouse, the howling dog by the door of the house, the bat that lies in bed at noon, all love to be out by the light of the moon. But all of the things that belong to the day cuddle to sleep to be out of her way, and flowers and children close their eyes till up in the morning the sun shall arise. And that poem reminds me that in the darkest night of the soul, that's got to go somewhere else. That's going to be annoying all day long, isn't it? The darkest times of the soul, God still sends a light. I used to talk to my kids about counting stars, because when you go outside and everything is black sky, there's still pinprints of stars up there. And even when the moon has a shadow over her, a cloud, there are still stars. And so I actually got them clicker counters, like for the fair or whatever, entrances into marketplaces and things like that. And I said, every time something makes you smile, click it. And at the end of the day, I want to meet together, and we did it for a little while. We don't do it every day. We don't do it. And it was just like, maybe I should dig them out. But there are stars. And what were your stars in your day? Whether it was a dark day or a bright day, whatever. But what's made you smile? You've made me smile today. So you would get a click, because you're a star. You're the light in the darkness. And this poem, The Moon, talks about how this thing has dominion over the night. And it reminds me that the Almighty Creator God has dominion over the night. So if you're walking through a night, Stella always makes me smile. If you're walking through a night, then walk through it with your head up high. Always be observant and look around you. That's what I teach my kids when they're walking in the darkness. Be observant. Look around you. Don't be afraid. Be confident, because the darkness will not last, and eventually you will make it home. Absolutely. So yeah, if you're having a nighttime, remember there is a moon. There are stars, and you're going to be okay. Put your feet on the ground. Take a few deep breaths. Exhale longer than your inhale. And remember that I love you. Have an amazing day. Bye.